All right, what's up, Giga Gamers? Welcome to the Strat Chat. Welcome to another Theater Thursday. We are going to be watching Bili-bili versus JDG. Week 1 of the LPL is here. Pro Play is back, finally. Super unstable meta. Can't wait to see what happens. A lot of Kassadin bans, a lot of things being thrown around. So, very interesting to see where teams are going to be shaping up and where they think the strength is. So, let's check it out. All right, so here we go. They looks like they did have to do a bit of a remake right here based on something happened, some sort of pause. So we end up with a zombie ward in the river, which means that they already have a lead there. And they're going all in on Ruler. Hello. Zeri Lulu is back. What a surprise. Yuumi and Sivir. Sivir was a classic pairing, and check out that new Sivir skin. That is the one that I don't think it's possible to have yet. Maybe if you nonstop played with the pass, you could have it unlocked. It's pretty close. If you have it, let me know. But that skin looks so dope. But here we go. We've got Sivir, Yuumi, Maokai, Akali, Aatrox. So Aatrox still here. They might be playing back one patch. So this is before Yuumi and Aatrox got nerfed. But they should just be on a fresh 13-1, no B patches or anything. Sivir just plays well into Zeri, but the all-in does favor Zeri in that lane, especially with Lulu. You can just kind of play straight through the Yuumi. You have to play that aggressively. If you just let her get those chips and those shields off, it's going to be a problem. So Gwen and Aatrox. Now, we might see an Abyssal Mask at some point, maybe like third item. From Gwen, I'd love to see that. That item has been overperforming, and I wonder if the analysts here will be looking for it. Now, Wukong looking to pick fights against Maokai. Maokai exceptionally weak on his first clear. All right, slow, very spell-based, cooldown-based. So Wukong is going to get that stacking passive right there, and boom, right off the bat, dodges the Q from Maokai. That's a huge part of his damage. And gets out with... No, does he? It looks like maybe he didn't get the blue buff. So that invade, oh no, Wukong with 3 camps does not manage to steal the blue. So he's very late, very far behind. Maokai's on 5 camps already. But knowing that there's tons of pressure on the Maokai allows Bin to proxy here. Now you see him, he's not actually trying to clear the whole wave. He's trying to set up the freeze because now Wukong's going to be able to swing to the top side of the map. Red camps into blue respawns. You see that expertly done. Basically does a 3 count on the wave and comes on back. Now this wave is auto pushing out. There's nothing the Aatrox can do except call Maokai over to force a play. Maokai also going to have a very tough time trying to engage against Gwen late game, right? You try to throw those tendrils from downtown, but Gwen's not having any of that. She will prevent them from connecting by going into the ghost form. Now, this is something we see from Ahri. I wish that we'd see more of it. The minion dematerializer allows for really good roam timings, really good pushes. And with Ahri in particular, if you go WQQ, it's actually 2 Qs to clear the backline. And you can see right here with 3 points in, already almost one-shotting it. And he's going to get to the point where he can go after the frontliners and the cannons and still be able to take 2 Qs to clear the entire wave. This can be especially important when Ahris go into somewhat lower damage builds like Everfrost, as they tend to do in pro play. So I like this adaptation. It also really punishes the Akali poor laning phase. Ahri's really going to get in her face. Yagao versus Knight. Superstars there. Bin versus 369, 2 world finalists. These guys are no stranger to top performance. All right, so let's see if Ahri tries to hold this position. No, she's looking to back off. No, there we go. It's a fake back. Fake recall, trying to get Akali stuck in this bad wave state pre-6. Once she's 6, she's got a lot of kill pressure against a jungler trying to come in. And just retaliation ganking in general, but what she does have to be careful about, what the Ahri has to be careful about, is she's running out of mana. Akali can drag that lane state on, and just using that energy regen can actually get a favorable spot. So you see Akali actually dropping wards, 2 wards around mid lane before recalling, and snap teleporting back to lane. With the boots allow you to dodge more of Ahri's spells and abilities. And now basically it's gonna be very hard for Ahri to punish the Akali any further. I think Akali has gotten through relatively unscathed, only down 10 CS. Not bad at all. Got all of the experience. And so let's check out how they play this mid game. They are not waiting for level 6s down in bot lane, but they do have 6s from Aatrox and Akali. Akali teleported back to lane, so she's trying to fight for prio. They get it, and they get this dragon without much contest. Lulu and Zeri deciding to hold this freeze. Now Gwen is using her teleport. I kind of hate this, because with Maokai rebounding out of bot side, this is a perfect opportunity for Gwen to ghost bottom and use her ultimate to chase down this Sivir. And between Lulu speed buff and Zeri being able to use the zap to at least hold them back for a moment, there's definitely going to be a 3v2 window there. And even Wukong could have taken the Krugs and forced a 4v2, knowing that Maokai is playing towards top. After you do that play, Gwen stays bottom, Lulu and Zeri recall, you go back with the Wukong, and you 4-man the Herald. This is a play that I've talked about a lot, and I still don't see pro teams. They've had a full year to adapt to the new leashed teleport, and they still haven't really been making this play. So a missed opportunity, something that I'd like these teams to find windows for. But instead, Gwen teleports top, gets the push in, gets to go deep into the Maokai's jungle. And we're going to see how they're looking to play this. All right, dash is down with Wukong in the vicinity. Gwen is going to look to bait this fight. If we see another dash go down, this Wukong is definitely engaging. Maokai is close and Akali's nearby, so they might not try. But look, Gwen should get pretty aggressive here. Was that a predictive cue from the Aatrox? R flash from Wukong, beautifully done. So Wukong actually E'd to the mid-back minions. I don't know if Aatrox was just getting Q1 on cooldown to get to access to Q2, Q3, but it actually knocked up the Wukong, which is pretty sick. 3 people over here. Maokai very late to the play, but check this out. Sivir and Yuumi making a very classic rotation to mid lane Knight. Good job, Akali, showing the last hitting mechanics. So you rotate your lane here for 2 reasons. 1, you get the wave first. You get access to this wave 10 seconds before bot. You also get to be safer as an AD carry. So you really want to be in this lane anyways. But now they can have access to 6. Boom, they tick. And they move up to the Herald. They use this priority. The fact that the Wukong and Gwen have ultimates on cooldown and have to recall, they're gone. Which allows Sivir and Yuumi to step up. You push up the mid wave. You help your jungler here. Now, the best response is to leave Zeri alone in bot. Unfortunately, she actually makes a slight mistake on the push. Doesn't get a triple stacked wave on the turret, and now doesn't have the protection against an Akali. We'll see if she tries to outplay the Akali. Lulu probably just has to go into Fog of War here. And with Lulu and Fog of War, Akali cannot engage. If Akali tries to engage, too likely that you get a Lulu ult, giant growth in response, and then you're in trouble. If you get that knocked up and canceled, then you're looking at big problems. Aatrox showing aggression with Maokai on bot side. This is a mistake. BLG is punishing. Let's see if they go for the full-on dive. It looks like they're in. Yep. Aatrox is stuck with Q1, Q2. He cannot get the other ones off. That is a window always. Anytime that Aatrox puts Q3 on cooldown, you know that you can get in on him, and they do exactly that. Gwen is still just an exceptional champion. I don't know why they gave the power to her E back, but they did, and here we are. And of course, Aatrox has been S tier, overpowered for a long-ass time, but he's been through a round of changes that were targeted at elite play. So, you know, maybe we've just reached that threshold that other champions aren't going to be strong enough. And if Aatrox doesn't come out of the lane phase ahead, sometimes he struggles to find that big pop-off moment in those big team fights. We see Divine Sunder going for Wukong, so he's going to be super sticky in fights. Also multiple sources of penetration. The armor crushing blow from the Q. And Divine Sunder should make it so you can rip through any tank stats that the Maokai tries to go through. Although most Maokais know to go Demonic Embrace, and a lot of them end up going Liandry's Anguish after that. And then Shadow Flame. They become a priority source of magic damage. We'll see if they change that up and go for Abyssal Mask. Abyssal Mask will reduce damage from Zeri, Gwen, Ahri, and Lulu, and it will amplify your own burning damage and Akali. So I'd love to see a third item, Abyssal, from Maokai. Again, we said that item is overperforming. People are not quite on it yet, so we shall see. And here we go, Knight. I think Knight getting the better of Ahri. You see that he's stabilized to this 10 CS difference. Has not changed, and basically is keeping Ahri teleporting mid. And Ahri using that teleport at 11:30 means she's not going to have access to it until 17 minutes. We could be on third dragon by then. Now this is where Maokai shines, but he does not have the Demonic Embrace yet. You really want to have Demonic so that when you throw these saplings out, they create significant burn damage. Demonic Embrace plus the new E with the Empower in the bushes kind of replicates the old Liandry's Anguish. Let's see if they stack up. Wukong might try to do this. All right, they see that Yumi's able to jump to another target, and that dissuades the push. So that reach right there, and again, without Demonic Embrace, this Dark Seal, even though I like Dark Seal purchases, if it holds you back on your first item, it can be a huge problem. The only time that you really want it is if you get forced out on a very, very budget buy, and you go. It does not have the same sellback ratio that, it really took people forever, but when it cost $350 and it sold for $270, yeah, like you can take that 80 gold rental on an insane item that has a chance to just snowball you through the game. All right, so here we go. Maokai still in the zone. A couple knockups, a little miscommunication there. Lulu using the R to knock up Maokai to try to stop him from using the blast cone. But this is a pretty big miscommunication, I'd say. All right, so now here we go. They're trying to pivot this into a point of strength. They're teleporting bot and using the Herald. They want to force this in. They know it's worth 2 plates. Look at that thing belligerently going forward. And they stopped the charge. Zeri was even throwing the Q backwards. Really well played. JDG, I mean, you use the Herald. It does give you some tempo. They end up not getting anything from it except this priority on the river. And that might be enough. Right? They've really hustled for this. Maokai, it is worth making plays like that when you're the Maokai, right? Because you just start littering these bushes with the saplings, and it becomes a total death trap. But honestly, if Bili-bili is super on point here, they know that they still have Zeri ultimate. They wish that they had Lulu ultimate, and that's really why they're calling it off. But with Zeri ultimate, you probably can hold that area. Zeri can also check these bushes with her Q, kill some wards long distance, and all the ridiculous things that she does. But that's it. Good tempo play by JDG. They actually flex hard enough, and they get in there. They're able to claim that river and claim the dragon. So now they're at 2 dragons, and Ahri's not going to have teleport for the third one. So we do see, even though Gwen is crushing it in the top lane, just annihilating this Aatrox, it's still going to be JDG that might have the advantage for this fight. It's all, basically, I need Gwen to finish this second item, which she might. She's got a commanding lead, and I think she took 2 plates on her own, plus the 2 kills. If she can turn this into a second item by the time this dragon spawns at 19 minutes, then she'll be good. Demonic Embrace is going to come online from Maokai, and we see Yuumi jumping on the tree. This is where you want to be mid-game. Junglers are often some of your strongest characters, and they're moving around the map, so very good presence by the Yuumi. Rift Herald being taken. All right, so you're taking it right here with 3:30 left on the dragon. And normally I'm not a huge proponent for dragon stacking, but when you get the 2 like this in a losing situation, if you can get the third, you potentially fork the enemy team into making a mistake where even though you're behind, you can get Baron or Soul for it. and it brings your odds of winning up even when you're losing, right? It's still not a great play, but sometimes it's the best available, right? So this Herald, by grabbing the Herald here, they're going to have to use it right around the time that this dragon is spawning, and I bet Bili-bili's going to use that Rift Herald to gain prio, right? They're going to drop it mid as they're pushing, threaten to take the outer and inner turrets with it. Hopefully that creates some sort of defense from JDG, and that allows you to get into the river. The problem is Maokai is exceptionally good at long range. He can still just litter the river while the entire team is defending against the push. He can use this area, right? Just start putting saplings, boom, 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 every single one of these bushes, and one for good measure in between, just to control some territory. Maokai is one of the best champions in the game at preparing a zone. So even if they have to go for a strong defense mid lane against a Herald, they might have some good action. Now, there's a big mistake, though, from the Maokai getting himself into position to get engaged on. Aatrox is not strong, and with Gwen nearby, this might be an all-in. They're up numbers. They're up 5v3. They're definitely going to go for this inner turret. I want to see hard engage. No, they're leaving it. That's incredible. Okay. All right, Spectator Bug should probably get rid of that. We don't need these. We see them just fine. Although I guess sometimes it's worth knowing. But honestly, the pros, like, they're gonna do things to mark wards even when they don't get seen. So, like, whether or not that you see the one that has the red flag on it or not doesn't mean that they don't know it's there. Beautiful movement by Bin, just juggling inside and outside of that aggro range. Let's see if he tries to go in. Ooh. Doesn't want to get queued. So he puts up the shield. Love this ward right here. This is a fantastic ward. It is not nearly placed enough. It gives all the vision that you need to. It goes further out than the bush, and so it sees into the river. So basically anyone coming into that bush, you'll see them nice and early. All right, 3-0 BLG. Bili-bili just doing well, especially through the Zeri and Wukong and Gwen. Maokai Kanabi is super far behind. Not really his style of champion in the past. But he has played Maokai before. He's done well with it. We'll see how much priority they put on this third dragon. They're in a vastly losing situation. The benefit for them is that it behooves them to have Aatrox just kind of go off and push side lanes anyways and just avoid all fights. So that will create ancillary pressure, and the onus is on Gwen to make something happen, right? They have to force a play. Unfortunately for the Aatrox, just multiple nerfs to him, his kit, Eclipse, his items. He's not really going to present that much of a split pushing threat. We'll see how they hold this area. Wukong trying to get the flank off. Ends up finding Akali, who's going to be very strong in that side 1v1. Ooh, a flash, E-flash from Ahri with Everfrost to try to get in position, but it's a little bit too much of a reach, and they get penalized. All right, that's what you get going into Maokai. He just starts holding it down. Knight is cleaning up. Good stuff. I'm going to say misplay by Bili-bili, right? You got to be a little bit more patient. You lost the trade from the Wukong to the Akali, and now basically you've given them a window back into the game. You've given them 3 dragons. So now they're just like pretty close to even anyways. And they've got the 3 dragon threat. So even though your team outscales, the thing is, like, that's play. Like, that Aatrox is the least important player on their team. He's the guy on 1 item. So they're able to hold down everybody, clean this fight up. Knight actually canceling R2 canceling E2. Whew, what a champion. Zeri going for crit build. We'll see if she goes into Navori Quick Blades next. So we have Everfrost, and we see Verdant. We're going to see a Verdant from Ahri, which is interesting because it doesn't stop Yuumi. It could stop a long range Maokai. It does stop E1 from marking you as the Akali versus the Akali. So I don't know. I mean, there's a little bit of there is some magic damage. I can see some of the appeal to it, but it doesn't have the value that Banshee's Veil normally you look for. They're going. This is in full vision here. Now the pressure is really on them here. If they're moving this way, Akali's in the side wave, Aatrox is picking it up, and Sivir's picking up mid. This might be a slight miscommunication though. They split off to the sides, and Bili-bili sees it, reads that they're retreating, and they hard engage over the wall. That's got to be a misplay by JDG, right? It's like, yes, it's a reasonable play to say, hey, let's go get the waves, and a good job by Bili-bili to put the waves in those states. But if that's the call, then you got to get everybody out. So losing Maokai and Yuumi and Aatrox because he comes in to try to save them, and you use teleport, this game's basically in the bag now. Bili-bili's going to crush this game. I assume, right? They're down to 3 dragons. There's still a way out, but that's such a huge advantage coming in now. They completely own this area. There's still the chance that they get forked, but I'm going to put, Bili-bili should win this game from this position. Both AD carries on 2 items plus boots. We'll see if Zeri gets the payoff from the call to get item 3 faster. Kali going for Shadow Flame second, but Ahri is already done with second item. Going with these budget items, much less expensive. Even the boots less expensive. So this is something that has come up where Lucid boots and Moby boots, sorry, not Moby, Swifties, are overperforming. Based on their cost especially, they tend to actually have just the straight up highest win rate of your boots, and they cost 150 gold less, and it's for reasons like this. Like the Ahri is spiked on 3 items, Akali is not, and that's the difference. Just a less expensive build, saving about 500 there on the build, and that gets you there. That difference is felt right now. As soon as Akali gets her back off and is able to go get Shadow Flame, which I'm sure she'll be willing to sell Dorans to do, then you'll be fine. But again, the dematerializer, the cheap build, early push, boom. Ahri's got an advantage here. All right, so Gwen. Let's take a peek at Gwen skipping Nashor's Tooth, which is fine. Often they go for a more defensive item, second or third. But going Shadow Flame is kind of interesting, and this is probably an adaptation based on Ahri going for very defensive items. You see no pen here, so Ahri is very much an initiator for the team and kind of a playmaker setting things up, and they're looking Gwen to be a large source of the damage, but Aatrox has that Maw of Malmortius completed. We'll see if he's able to counter that damage. The problem for him will be Wukong, very easy access onto him. And if he's diving forward, really the Wukongs can get 2 Cyclones off that are going to be a pretty big mess. So let's see. Dragons in 52 seconds. Bili-bili has to threaten this. Kanavi's just going to throw that ult. And they're reaching. They shouldn't go for the rest of this fight. They should lose. All right, Bili-bili's actually retreating, and a little bit early from the Ahri. She brings them across. They're going to lose 2 people, which means they're going to lose Soul. I don't like the retreat call here. You've got all the tools in the world to win that fight. If they just line up, let one player tank up the Maokai, right? It could even be Wukong's decoy that tanks up the tendrils of corruption, and then they're in good position. So, crazy. All right, they're going to get turret. Look at Maokai. He's already setting up the burning sapperlings here all around. And they're going to get into the dragon pit. And he does an insane amount of damage to objectives with this double max health burning build. And based on his Q dealing extra % health damage, it's just absolutely nuts how much he does. So they end up getting the soul. Now, there are 3 alive with the Baron buff. We're still going to see a push. Gwen is the strongest solo in the game. Wukong does have the ability to be in multiple places at once. So we'll see if they're able to get enough done with this Baron, right? And if they can break an inhibitor, then they will have the inside track for Elder. All right, and even though they're down soul, even though it's a mountain soul, All right. There's not really anyone stacking resistances here. Aatrox is actually the closest thing to it. The Mountain Soul, not going to be enough to dissuade a super pushing in plus an enormous gold advantage. It's good, right? Good job by JDG finding a way back in, or really Bili-bili kind of opening the door for them. But they're going to set up multiple lanes. You're going to see, look at these wards in between mid and bot. You can see right here, boom, boom. They're trying to see the rotations. This is Zeri's time to shine. Aatrox did not need to be part of that last hit. He could have tried to dodge it. He was trying to burst the Aatrox to kill him before he died. Ends up trading back, which is actually pretty bad. Here comes Akali with the Yuumi. They're going full in. They've got the fight. They know that they use too many tools. And that's the price of Wukong going down. That's the problem, right? You commit for a play. You've got Baron. Anytime you commit like that, it becomes a potential for the other team to come back. Because if you trade, right, that trade is significantly more valuable for them. You're the one reaching. They used more spells to get there. So JDG, good job creating a second fight. Akali knowing she can go in, despite, what ostensibly healthy enemies. Good job by Elk. That's Flash. Let me see. Did he get an R Flash here? Watching the Zeri here. No, it was a failed R Flash, actually. I don't know. It looked like he R'd, then Q'd, then flashed, so he may have just missed it, but missed opportunity to get an R Flash off on Zeri, which maybe blows up that fight that much earlier. You actually probably would have killed the Zeri fast enough, and at least your team would have had the opportunity to get the Wukong out if you kill Aatrox, even just a smidge faster. Zeri added again, killing control wards faster than even your Umbro Glaive supports. Auto tap, Q auto, boom. Easy. All right, JDG using the soul to move forward. Any amount of shield bashing would be greatly increased, although I don't think they have it, even with a Yuumi on Eerie. But Kanavi again, getting too far up, giving them the window. That's 3 different times that Kanavi has died while planting seeds. So again, Bili-bili going to have inside track. They're going to get all the vision back on the topside river. Looking for North Quadrant. Look for them to take control of this quadrant right here. They're going to try to get deep ward in the lane, and they're going to try to get progress wards, things that see people trespassing into this area, and then one ward kind of tucked away, mostly keeping this triangle nice and deep and far away from each other so that it takes multiple sweepers to clear it out. Look for them to push and get that situation back. Ahri's going to go match the wave against Akali because she has the fastest wave clear. Just go up, cast 2 Qs on the wave. You're done. Rinse, repeat. Go off to the side. Gwen, 3 items deep, done. Looking probably for a Void Staff next. Void Staff does take a similar role, but I would have liked to see an Abyssal. Abyssal just does an insane amount, 25 arm magic resist shred, which is about what you're getting from that Void Staff anyways, plus you've got all the stats on it. So even on manaless champions, it just can be good. It can be good, and this is one of those situations, maybe instead, you know what, definitely instead, I'd rather see her take Force of Nature and just trudge through the Maokai for everybody. All right, here comes the engage. Long range are a little bit weird of an angle. Easy for them to stack up, and they get nothing for it. But prio, and as we've talked about, priority means a lot. This is the same play that they've done in the bot lane where they use Maokai ultimate, the threat of the engage, to get everyone to back up, back in. There's no flash here. Ghost is down and it runs out. He does not get the reset. So they're able to fight back for the prio. Gwen does a fantastic job of pushing up forward. That allows them back into the river. JDG basically was trying to make the same play that they made before, which was Maokai ultimate, get everyone to back up, to line up, make them step back. And once they do, then you move into the river and then you start taking prio. And then you're just there, right? You say, I've kind of corralled you using one spell. We move there, but by Gwen showing that much aggression, able to step forward, JDG 369 overreaches, thinks that there's a window, but he's slightly too slow. Let's see if Lulu's able to dodge this Akali. No, they're stepping back. Yet another situation from Bili-bili where they retreat and they didn't need to. I'm sure we'll see this fight again, although they are going to go to Elder, so maybe not. We do have a teleport. They're rushing down this bot wave. They're trying to get that stack. Now, that is a stacked up wave. That is a double cannon that will be stacked up for the push. So if they can hold on to this space, if they can hold it, then that wave will push. And it looks like topside might be as well. No, that is a negative wave. But the advantage in mid, let's see. They've got an extra wave down, turret down in mid, so they could get more of a push there. Keep an eye on this bottom wave, right? This bottom wave is pushing. It's about 9 versus 7. The two cannons are going to survive, and that wave is going to be moving up. Now, Aatrox, again, overstepping a bit. He's very weak. Uses the stopwatch to buy some time, but all it buys is the decoy from Wukong. Lulu is going to be back in time, but everyone gets hit by that sapling. Here we go. Let's see. Akali is full health, full shield. She's going in. This is going to be a wipe. Akali is going to crush this fight. No! Here we go. They're too passive there. She's trying. All right, 369 trying to get back in the fight. And there they go. Boom. Finishing it off. Akali just insane, ripping through everybody with the Yuumi on her back. Absolutely insane. But it's the Gwen show. Sorry, the Zeri show. Zeri able to 1v5 complete. The anime storyline is alive and well. Zeri, all of her friends are dead, but there is a Yuumi in there. She's not going to be able to get away from that, or is she? Oh my gosh. All right, E's on cooldown. They feign like they're stepping away. They are stepping away. Epic fights. Zeri diff. Oh my gosh. And at the very end, right, like dodging away that way and having the Maokai follow you to isolate the Maokai. Let's take another look at this fight. All right, decoy versus force stopwatch. They move up Lulu very, very late to this fight, but as long as she's there once, that's enough. Everybody getting chunked. Knight. Okay, it was Sivir that was full, not the Akali. So Knight, you know what? They pop the Akali. They pop the Sivir. Ruler steps up a little bit too much, but because Lulu gets in, showing up to the fight for the first time allows E1 to hit, and that's what gets the Akali into the fight. If Akali doesn't hit that E, if Akali does not hit E1, they lose that fight by so much. But because she's able to jump back in, she's able to get all that damage. Sivir basically already fronted most of her damage. Man, this is exciting. Zeri diff, by the way. What the hell are they thinking with Zeri, by the way? We just had a whole year of Zeri. It's exciting, you know. It's good to see AD carries popping off. I enjoy it. I like having marksmen be strong. I think marksman players are exciting, and I think pentakills are great. But Zeri's on a freaking another level. Wukong tries to reach in, gets popped. Kanavi with the counter engage and the stopwatch coming through. Can they clean up the Gwen? She's got the shield, but she's alive. She's dead. All right. Aatrox, nope, he's dead. No, he's got the respawn. Zeri. Zeri's trying. She oversteps. She overstepped. She gets away from the Lulu. The Lulu is not able to buffer anymore. And that's going to be Soul. That's going to be Soul. Sorry, not Soul. Elder Dragon. JDG, 4 players. Everyone but Knight is going to have that Elder buff. And they've got 4 people dead. Wukong's dead for another 10 seconds. Lulu cannot wave clear. And especially if she tries, she can basically with 2 Qs, she might be able to come close as long as there's no cannon. But she will die in the exchange. Ooh, the reach. Ari unable to follow up, just short on the range. Everyone's kiting back. This is Zeri's fantasy right here for popping off in a fight. Elk, let's see it. Was it a mistake to go over this wall? I don't think so. No, it definitely was not. Right, I'm sorry. It was intentional. It was also a mistake. Oh man. Wanting that highlight reel. I mean, it's good for your career if you get one of those. You get endorsements. Maybe worth. But failing it's probably going to spell doom for Bili-bili. I do not like the way they've been team fighting. They played laning phase superbly. It was great. Missed opportunity maybe with the Gwen to come down bottom like we were talking about. But these team fights, they're just always kiting back. It's back and back and back and back. Wukong going for full armor shred. Black Cleaver to shred, and then he's got crushing blows and or denting blows, whatever it's called, and Divine Sunder. So really trying to go, but there's not that much armor. It feels kind of weird. This build is kind of weird. I'm thinking that maybe Stridebreaker might have gotten more accomplished as far as slowing in the middle of the fight, get a little bit more health. So now you've got Soul, which means free Baron. They're not going to contest this because they don't want to fight into the Elder buff. And that'll be that. They use Elder to gain full prio. Look at this full coverage of the Western Quadrant. All that vision. Very easy for them to take the Baron, uncontested with all the seedlings. But all things being told, we're getting closer to that final point in the game where it's just going to come down to who executes better, who has the good scaling comp. Sivir is almost on full build. Got that probably Bloodthirster going to be her final item. Will help her stay topped off in these fights and allow the Yuumi to jump around as needed. Yuumi might try to stay on Sivir from now on because she is the primary carry at this point. Akali, very nice with 4 items, but a ways away, I have to imagine, from that final one. Maybe not. She is dropping the control ward. And she does have 4 kills, 10 assists at 38 minutes, so she could be nearing full build. It's going to be super exciting to see this. Again, we're going to see lots of Maokai preparation of an area. Now, it is interesting that despite all the efforts they put into topside, they end up pushing bot. The effect that they're looking for is the bluff, right? The announcement, hey, we took your Western Quadrant. And so blue team sends people there, right? They send people to that area to clear out vision, clear out zombie wards, make sure that there's no lingering vision. And while they're doing that, you actually go and push the other side of the map. Also, by warding that side and pushing bot, you do see any rotations, right? So you have full information that Gwen is going topside before she even gets to that wave. All right, Fighter in the mid lane, 4 people in bot. Maokai looking to ult on either side. Now he's going to do the same thing as he did before. Ult for space. This is a zoning ultimate. And every single time, Bili-bili has not played it well. They should literally just be stacking on the Wukong. Let the Wukong decoy, soak up a tendril, and everyone just line up in a straight line. Boom. All 5 people get hit. 1 person gets hit. Decoy, 0 people get hit. All right, so here comes the siege with Baron. 1.5 minutes left. They're halfway in. Aatrox's jumping in, looking to get that flank position. This is a beautiful spot for him, but he does miss Q1. Using the decoy, look at that, very intelligent. Takes a little bit of damage back, but uses the decoy to stack his Conqueror and funnel through his Qs. Very, very good heads-up play by 369. Doing that in the heat of the moment. Here comes Maokai again, another zoning ultimate. Here you go. They split up, and you move up, you take a turret. Rinse, repeat. I wonder if he's First Strike plus Ultimate Hunter. The cooldown on the ultimate's fairly short, but that does give you access to Futures Market. If you go Ultimate Hunter, you don't have the treasure, but in pro games, treasure is a little bit worse. Here they go, full engage. Boom, they step up. Aatrox popping in. You weren't there at the beginning, but you're there at the end. Aatrox coming through, crushing that fight. They walk up and they wipe it. They're going for the... Wait, that's a little bit too early, guys. There you go. All right, come back. Ruler says, all right, yeah, we'll go win the game. Imagine if they all just accidentally jumped in a little too far. Lulu comes out, pulls the aggro, and they come back. But not to be had. JDG coming through. Bili-bili just not fighting well. Really, truth be told, they did not perform that well. It's that fight, right? The Maokai Ultimate's coming down at you like this. If you just take all 5 of your players and line up, and then you hide behind the decoy, you just go like this, then you're going to be in okay shape. It's not as simple as that. There's more to it. But basically, JDG did the same play 4 times in a row, right? All game. They did it for first Dragon, even though they were behind in bot wave. They did it to chase them off of Baron. After the Baron was done, they go and they got 2 kills because enemy team was in full retreat. They did it for the bottom turret. They did it for the base turret. So 4 different times they did the exact same play. Very interesting to see, and hey, it was effective. So good job. JDG starting off with a win. Bili-bili, nice effort, good laning, promising signs. Just got to look for a little bit more of those cohesive plays. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Keep it surreal. Peace.